applaud your courage in coming forward. Tell me, I guess really I'd like to go to the culture. Dr. Nee, why the boxes? I mean, why, how do you get in a situation where you inherit this type of situation? I mean, you've got people that, you know, are trained, how do you get in a situation where somebody's doing a bunch of tests and nobody's even taking the trouble to read those? Is that not having enough staff, or is it incompetence, or is it
I think it's people that just
laziness,
don't want to work that hard. I mean, there was plenty of staff within the department. Certainly people could have pitched in. I was only one person when I arrived. And my work ethic from private practice was inpatient ultrasounds were read that day, outpatients within 24 to 48 hours, not 12 months. So, I mean, this was not a resource issue. This was people that just didn't want to work that hard, and you're not going to come in and tell us otherwise.
So just really laziness, and just the fact that there was, you know, just very little care for the individuals involved.
I would have to say, I mean, I could never imagine looking at those boxes and being okay with that. I still to this day don't know where they were at, but many people knew that they existed.
Right. Very good. Tell me about, again, about the culture of the whole thing, though. You know, we have a situation where we've got people that are practicing, and you know, you're bringing forward facts where the practicing is not very good practicing. Again, is that because, not take the boxes aside, but just in basic patient care, is that because, again, they're incompetent, or we mentioned incentives, you know, the incentives of the appearance, you know, that good care is being done, but is it a numbers-driven game, or people are under the gun
to put it in a nutshell, the VA cares more about its public image than it does about patient care. I can tell you that the frontline staff, the physicians and nurses that I've worked with, are some of the best in the VA. But like all systems, there are some that are less than ideal or even should not be working in the VA. I don't think that mixture is any different than in the private sector. What I do believe the difference is that speaking up and identifying problems, the first knee-jerk reaction is not to fix the problem, acknowledge the issue and then fix the problem. The knee-jerk reaction is not to let the problem be known by anyone else. Although people have disparaged the VA, there are millions of quality care episodes that occur across the nation because the VA does do incredibly good work. Unfortunately, when they drop the ball so significantly that people die.
No, and I think we have to be very, very careful in the sense that, again, not disparaging all of the people that are working very, very hard. And there's some tremendous people. In fact, the vast majority of people in the VA are doing a great job and really do care about patients. But it's trying to figure out, you know, what in the culture of the VA gets us in these situations where we have the experiences that both of you all have had.
Well, it's up at the higher level administration. It's not anybody in ancillary staff, direct patient care. Absolutely, they wanted to work hard. But when you come in from the private sector and you're trying to work those same workloads, and they were making fun of it, you know, in a sense of, you're going to not do well here if you're going to continue working at that level. So it's not because they didn't want to, but they've already been put in their place when they tried to, and it's just an acceptance.
Yes, the direct administrators that retaliated against me, I actually don't hold that against them because they were between a rock and a hard place. If they spoke up and said that what you're asking us to do to Dr. Mitchell is wrong, they in turn would be retaliated against by their superiors. In fact, two of my chiefs of staffs are two of the most ethical physicians I've ever known, right. And yet they made decisions I certainly didn't agree with because I felt they were retaliatory. I also knew that they had no other choice, and in other ways, they tried to make it up to me. They tried to make sure that they made good patient care decisions, but their hand was forced multiple times by senior administration.
Mm-hmm. Dr. Nee, you're, in your written testimony, you were pretty scathing in your critique of the VAIG.
Absolutely.
How did they disparage your reputation?
Well, they wrote a letter to Senator Kirk that basically stated I had not presented any evidence to them on multiple occasions, which was false. They had evidence the first time, they had evidence the second time. There's 2 hours of testimony that they refuse. I mean, if I truly am lying, then put forth the testimony,
Sure.
but that's not forthcoming.
Good.
And then the preliminary Office of Medical Inspector has actually countered what they said. So, I mean, you have to think about that. Someone is putting in a letter to a senator of the United States, and then it goes out on a press release that you are a liar.
Who signed the letter?
Richard Griffin.
Okay, very good. Thank you all very much.